This is an interesting one. For one, this video was supposed to come out on Saturday, but it didn't, so sorry about that. I had to attend a funeral which reminded me life isn't fair and it's best to continue doing what you like and fight for your needs rather than be fighting yourself in doing something you hate. Secondly, at face value, comparing the Zephyrus M16 with the Strix Scar is a bit like comparing someone in a suit with someone in neon party wear. However, once you take the closer look, you realize the suit's hiding a sexy lingerie underneath, and the neon party wear is actually a lot more sophisticated and technical. So comparing the Zephyrus M16 and the Scar 15/17 is something that should run across your mind. However, if I was you, I would pretty much compare the Zephyrus M16 with every single laptop on the market right now. A little teaser about this at the end of the video, so stick around and don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. Anyways, the easiest way to explain this is to compare what is probably going to be the two most popular configurations of the M16 and the Scar 15/17. At $2,149 for the M16, you get the i9-12900H with the RTX 3070 Ti at 120 watts with dynamic boost, with 16 GB RAM and a 165Hz 16:10 aspect ratio QHD plus screen at 500 nits brightness. For about $2,299, which is pretty close to the M16 in price by the way, you can get the Scar 17 with the i9-12900H with RTX 3070 Ti with 150W TGP and a full HD 16:9 aspect ratio with 360Hz refresh rate. Or for about the same price, a 240Hz QHD screen can be optioned, but it's only for the Scar 15-inch version. Again, this can vary depending upon market, but in US this is most likely the case. Expect a similar price difference in Europe, UK and Asia, but as mentioned, there is difference in markets, and for the Asian market especially, they tend to prefer the RTX 3080 Ti in their Strix Scars, which is more than $3,000 in the US. Now, considering the similar price between the M16 and the Strix Scar, it now seems like a choice between gaming versus everyday usability, but the Zephyrus M16 does have a small secret. Some cooling redesign from the previous gen, like a really small one, have made a huge difference, so much so that the i9-12900H in the M16 pretty much pushes to almost the exact same level as the 12th gen chips in the Strix Scar 15 and 17 while being lighter, thinner, smaller, and well less conspicuous. I have linked the two benchmarks below if you don't trust me just yet. Subscribe when you do, by the way. However, that does beg the question, do you really need the extra TGP from the GPUs in the Strix Scar just for gaming? Cause the M16 does have a lot going for it. The M16 does use a lower 165Hz refresh rate display, but maintains a similar response time on paper at least, while running at nearly 500 nits compared to the 350 nits on the Strix Scar QHD. Thus the M16 displays get Pantone validation. Not sure if I pronounced Pantone right, so sorry about that. And by the way, it is a 16:10 aspect ratio, thus you get a bezel-free all-round design, and it's obviously very beautiful. You also get a UHS 2 spec card reader and an integrated 720p webcam. So, if you are planning to buy a laptop, chances are you are buying up from an RTX 20, GeForce 10 or even a GeForce 900 series laptop. So with that in mind, the difference between your old laptop and the RTX 30 is going to be massive whether you get the 120W version or the 150W version. So realistically, the extra TGP isn't exactly worth the huge ease of use and the display advantage you get from the Zephyrus M16. It's a cleaner and classier looking laptop that can still push when gaming becomes a priority, and obviously it pushes its CPU to its max. But if max GPU performance is your priority, the Strix Scar is just simply better. But it also has its own set of sophistication with G-Sync supported HDMI 2.1 port instead of the HDMI 2.0B. It also gets that unique keystone feature which works like a security key for your laptop, unlocking a hidden drive, your Google accounts if you set up for it, and it can even basically change every settings to the way you like it when you connect the keystone to the laptop. So it's a really good laptop as well, and even beating out the Legions this year. So it is up to you to consider what you'd prefer, but think about the M16. That's my point. It is the same case when you look at any other laptops wherever you live in the world when compared to the M16. The pricing of the M16 with the mentioned specs makes you question the 14-inch options on the Razer Blade and Alienware X14. Do you really think it's a good idea to save just $50 to $100 to get a 14-inch instead of the much better 16-inch M16, which is just minutely thicker and larger? Again, these questions and all that is just a teaser of just how good the Zephyrus M16 is. Make no mistake, it's still expensive compared to the competition, and if you want the RTX 3060 or lower, my suggestion would be to get the Zephyrus G14, G15, Strix G15/G17 if you're more into the gaming side, and basically anything with an AMD chipset for better gaming and longer battery life, or the HP Omen for better value. But that's a completely different video. For now, my point is just think about the Zephyrus M16 before you buy your next laptop, and also think about subscribing to this channel.